Welcome to another episode of the HomeTown podcast, where you learn more than you know and you know more than you hear. Hang on, we got a special guest today. Today's special guest is Tanya Turner. Is that right?
It's a tongue twister, yeah.
Yeah. It used to be Tanya Tucker, and then it was Tanya Tucker. It wasn't. Your name wasn't Tanya Tucker, but we thought it was Tanya Tucker. It's hard to get past Tanya Tucker.
I know. What I mean? I'm glad we don't do nameplates anymore, because that always started conversations big time when people would come in and see the nameplate.
They'd say, "Are you related to Tanya Tucker?"
Yes. Yep.
Or can you sing? Well, actually, you can sing.
A little. I try.
Yeah. Right. Well, these episodes are really kind of, the purpose is to try to get you introduced to people. And believe it or not, I know your tenure is 21 and a half years. Mm-hmm. You've been at the bank for 21 and a half years. And a lot of people have seen you. A lot of people over the years know you. But it's amazing to me what we don't know. Mm-hmm. And how many, not just from the public's perspective or our customer's perspective, but also from the other team members, you know. Mm-hmm. We had one the other day with Tasha, you know, who's been here 11 years, and no one knew she had a criminal justice degree, you know, that she was going to be in law. So that's the kind of thing that, you know, we're trying to introduce people to you, not a person that works at the bank, but, you know, Tanya Turner. So, all right. So where are you from? Where's your hometown? Where'd you go to high school? That kind of stuff.
I am from Aniana. I went to school at Susan Moore the whole 13 years. I was actually in the first kindergarten class that Susan Moore had. So I was there the whole time.
All right. So then did you, so you were a Bulldog. Mm-hmm. What kind of stuff did you do in high school with it?
I was in the band, trumpet player. And so I always wanted to be a majorette, and that just didn't. I took baton lessons, and that didn't quite work out. After I tried out my first time, you know, I didn't make it. And so I decided, okay, I've got this trumpet. Let's see what I can do with it. So I really applied myself to that. And eventually that did well for me, got me a music scholarship. And, you know, I love music. It just really kind of developed my love for music.
We'll have to get you and Bruce to do that on the trumpet that would be at some point. Yeah. We'll have to kind of grease him up a little bit. I don't know that he plays very often. So
I definitely don't.
So from there, what did you go to school at all, or?
So I went. Wallace State has a really good jazz band, and so me and my husband both, we got scholarships to go there, and so we were in the jazz band. And I just went 1 year. I just really didn't know what I wanted to do. Right. I didn't really have a good plan, and I don't know if you remember back in the day, like everybody got a book with all the degree plans in there, and I remember looking through there. I really didn't know what to pick, so I just picked something, medical records. And I did that. I mean, I was taking some of the classes for that, but it just really didn't sink in. It just really wasn't what I wanted to do.
Right. So from there, how things transpired?
I was working part-time while going to school. I was working at Gregerson's. Do you remember Gregerson's?
Mm-hmm.
The deli. Mm-hmm. So, and that we had the best food. People would come for lunch. I worked on the weekends, cooking and everything. So Saturday and Sunday, all of the lunch crowd would come and eat lunch with us, because we had like the baked chicken, the veggies, all the good stuff. So Mary Blue would come. She came a lot for lunch, and some of the other bank people that worked with her. And this was Community Bank. Mm-hmm. And conversation just got started one day, and she was like, "Bring me a resume." And so she hired me as a teller. And that was in 1993. And so I decided then I I loved it. I mean, right off the bat, I was like, I really like this, just numbers and how everything worked. Cash ins and cash out, all of that good stuff. And also back then you had to go to the work proof at the headquarters for a full week. And so you really got to see a full perspective of how it works, what happens to all of that stuff, all those tickets, and how people get their statements. So from that point on, I really fell in love with it.
Yeah, I kind of wish we could replicate that experience. It's hard now that everything's electronic, but knowing how we get to a person's balance every day is pretty interesting, really.
Yep.
But it's really hard to get that knowledge unless you do it. I mean, you make it happen, and then you understand how it happens. Well, just kind of take a step back here, because I just stepped right across your family, but I know you have children.
Yes, I have 3.
Have 3? Mm-hmm. And what do they do, and what do they like to do?
So Logan he's our oldest. He lives in Huntsville, and he's an engineer. He went to, he knew in 9th grade that he wanted to be a mechanical engineer. So he, had his college picked out, going to UAH and what he wanted to do. The job he's in is not really quite what I thought it would be with mechanical engineer. He works for a construction company, Turner Construction, no relation to us, but I think people thought he might be kin to the CEO or something his first week there. But he's in steel beating because they do big projects like skyscrapers and arenas and just all kind of big projects, multi-million-dollar things. And so he's doing bids, and so he's really good at Excel and all of that. So he's doing well in his job. He's been there about 3 years.
So he's doing, I mean, he has to have that engineering understanding, probably. I mean, especially if you're doing red iron steel is what I call it, the beams and all that we don't see in a building, but it's what's holding it up. And then he's figuring how much that costs.
Yep, the cost.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough job, by the way.
Yeah.
What about the balance of your crew there? What other 2? So you got 3, right?
Yes. So the next one is Leah. She's the one that's recently married. She's the only one that's married. We recently had her wedding New Year's Eve, but her husband is military, and so they live at Fort Drum in upstate New York, very close to Canada. So her temperature up there this week was minus 18. And so she's doing all these videos of the snow, and I mean, it's a huge amount of snow, but they love it up there. She has her degree in music education, elementary music education. So she taught at Pell City for 1 year, but now she'll always do music. She's a worship leader at their church. She teaches piano, and that worked out really well because there's a lot of mamas on the base there that are looking for that, and so that's very convenient. Have somebody there on base that can teach piano lessons out of her apartment or wherever.
Well, that's interesting.
So she does that, and she's got a photography business on the side, and she's doing really well with that. Better than what I was expecting. It's not really a side job anymore. It's becoming like a income source for them.
It sounds like she's getting a well-rounded experience.
Yeah.
So what does her husband do? The military? Does he travel, or is he just on that base?
he's still in the beginning stages of that, but he's just in the infantry there, and they have jobs. If we got to go visit up there.
So he's in the Army.
He's in the Army. And so I was surprised. I had never been on a base before, but he's taking it, showing us where he goes into work every day. But it's huge. I mean, they have all these things. It's very self-sufficient. If the world crumbles around it, they can survive. They even have Burger King in there.
Yeah,
so it was really interesting to see all that.
But most military institutions of any size, or installations of any size, are, once you cross into the gate, it's almost like another town.
Yeah.
And has schools, healthcare, you name it, they have everything available to them. And, I really like upstate New York as far as countryside and all that. Now, not too interested in 18 below,
No.
But in the spring and summer and all the fall especially, it's a beautiful part of the country. So
Yep.
I don't know how long his tour of duty is going to be there.
It's supposed to be 2 or 3 years, but we visited in the fall, which was perfect. Leah took us to they have a cider mill there. And so we got to have,
The real thing.
real cider. It was great. So.
Yeah. There's some beautiful, most people, when they hear New York, they think of New York City, but there's a huge state beyond New York City.
Oh, yeah.
And some really pretty countryside.
The Adirondack Mountains. We went there.
Yeah.
They were
Adirondacks
beautiful.
are awesome.
Yep.
The river valley that goes up through there is beautiful. There's just all kinds of really cool stuff there. So, that's the thing about the military is it's going to give him or them the opportunity to kind of see the world a little bit, or at least the United States at the minimum, right?
Yeah.
And that's a positive thing.
Yep.
Now, okay, so you have one more?
Yes, the baby, Lakin, she's 15, so she's in 9th grade at Susan Moore. And so she was always our sporty girl, played basketball and all that. Soccer was her favorite. But she's kind of in the recent couple of years got out of that, and she's shifting. Art is her thing. So she takes art lessons from Miss Joan downtown and really does well with it. Like, her favorite thing is sketching. So she can sketch, draw. It's really good. I'm really impressed with what she can do. So, and she's even talking about making a career out of that, because there's things you can do.
Oh, yeah.
Like on a computer or tablet that's art related. And so she's already kind of dabbling in some of that.
Yeah, I think art is very overlooked.
Yeah.
It's not one of the STEMs, right? Or whatever. So that's, but it's very, it requires a mindset. It requires a way of thinking that's different. And I think that has real value, no matter what you choose to do.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that you feel like she's talented. I mean, Joan is terrific.
Oh, she's really good.
So she does great work. So she'll come away with that. Now, what do you do for the bank, or what is your primary role?
I am a loan officer, but sometimes, that role can be other things too, just whatever,
Absolutely.
taking care of the person in front of me, basically.
Yeah, well, you got, they're coming to you with all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, okay, so take a step back. You started at the bank. How long have you been here?
21 and a half years. So I started as a teller. I'd already had banking experience, actually at 2 or 3 places, because when we moved off for Jeff to go to college, I worked at Compass Bank up there for a year, and then a credit union also. So at the credit union, after being a teller for a few years, there's where I first got loan experience. And I had to beg and ask for it. But we had somebody leave. It was a small credit union. And we had somebody leave that was kind of like what they would call the loan processor. That's who the person that, if anybody come in for a loan, they would go and see her in an office, but she didn't make the decision. She was just processing and getting the paperwork done. So that person left, and so I went to the loan officer and I was begging her, please let me try, just please. I know I can do it, please. And so she did. I think it was kind of reluctantly, but she let me try, and that's where I learned how loans work, what a debt ratio was, all kind of things like that. Credit report, how to read one.
Yeah.
So, and then it just kind of took off from there.
So then, how did you get to HomeTown? I can't remember.
Yes, I had come back. We moved back home eventually, and I was at Community Bank for really the 3rd time. I was working at the operations building, and I was in accounting there. Brenda Best.
Right. Yeah.
Brenda was so good at her job. She really was. And I enjoyed working with her. So I got to kind of be on that accounting side of things, balancing and some of that back end stuff. But I was starting to hear about HomeTown Bank through my friends. And so there was one day, I think it was Patty. Patty called me while I was at work. She's like, okay, are you ready to come? I'm like, I think so. Now's a good time, And it was perfect. And so I started out, we were in the double wide back then, and I started out as a teller, but it seemed like everything went really fast.
Yeah.
We were changing at a fast pace.
Right.
So I want to say I was a teller for maybe 2 weeks or a month, not very long at all. And Angela and Suzanne were out front doing loans, doing whatever, new accounts, everything. And Angela and I were talking. Angela and I go way back too, friends from Community Bank, Suzanne, all of us. And so I was telling Angela, I don't know if I could do loans. It's been a little while. I don't know if I could. She was like, it'll come back to you. Don't worry about it. And so I moved over to her desk. She's moving with Patty. And eventually, they were in that back building, that separate building. So that was just a fun time.
That was our add-on, was the single wide
Yeah.
trailer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mention this all the time, but we were so busy we didn't take any pictures. We just didn't. And of course, the camera on the phone had not got as, hadn't developed to the point that would have been 04 or 05 in that time frame, and hadn't quite developed to where everybody was carrying around one in their pocket. And, you had a flip phone, you could take a picture with it, but I mean, it wasn't very good. It took forever for it to download, all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't as easy to do as it is now. But also, that was not something that we really was first on our mind. Mm-hmm. We were just trying to get the day's work done, whatever that happened to be. And I made a comment earlier, you were in our first loan operations department, which happened to be about a 10 by 10 room with 3 desks in it.
I can't remember what that room was used for, because I remember like our closet was wherever, like there'd be stacks of toilet paper and paper towels, like wherever. So I can't remember what that room was for. I want to say part of it was IT, some of the IT stuff stacked up back there.
Could have been.
And so that was the best place at the time for us to try to put that department. And so we had like 3 desks, I think it was. There was 3 people eventually in there, just on top of each other, with a printer in the middle of us.
Right.
And so that's where, we were processing loans was still out front.
Right.
But that was where the paper went. And that was a lot of paper back then.
Suzanne and Angela were in what was our lobby.
Yes.
And I was on one side, and Buck, or one of the other guys, was on the other side. And, I'd go back and forth making loans just as fast as we possibly could. And, of course, that was, the base of the bank. That was the foundational part of the bank when we were doing all that stuff. But we, in retrospect, it's great to reflect on. But at the time, I don't want to do it again. It's kind of like people say the good old days. Well, not necessarily. You know, when you're tripping over each other and you got one bathroom between 22 people.
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff we kind of easily forget. We didn't have a place to eat. We didn't have a place to do anything. And I remember distinctly when we added what we called the operations center, which was that single wide trailer in the back, and no bathroom, no water, no anything back there. So that's where we moved all the tech stuff, all the servers and all that kind of stuff.
Gave us a little bit more room in the loan ops department.
Yeah, he could at least stretch or get up and get out of the room if there was a fire or something like that. But we never even thought about that either. We just went along about our daily business. So I just remember how exciting it was to go to the office, which is now the Aniana branch. Well, the Aniana location, we have lots going on in there. But I go by there very often, and it's kind of hard to visualize even that building being, what it is. So, that's a hope for you. That's a good memory, a special memory to have been in that double wide, because that's
and the Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
Yeah,
that's all we could fit.
That's all we could fit in there.
Yeah,
It got to be a bit of a joke afterwards, but
it was.
In the beginning, it was strictly all we could, have space for, because we had people in there, we had customers in there, and so that was kind of fun. Those days were fun, in retrospect.
Yeah.
Again,
right.
While you were doing it, you're like, man, why can't we get a women's bathroom?
We've come a long way. We really have
about that. But and you personally, that's the thing, is that you did loans, started on the teller, did the loans. I could not tell you.
Well, and see, loan operations has changed a lot. Which that's a good thing. We're always looking for a better way to do things, and we've tried different things over the years. But I was in loan ops for 15 years, whether that be processing or the back end of everything. the operation part of it. So, 15 years of that. And I actually got to work at our new ops building for 1 year.
No, okay.
So I did get 1 year in over there before I moved back to the other side.
Yeah. So what's unique about HomeTown for you, do you think?
How we take care of customers, what we do for them. It's all about them, taking care of their needs, finding out what they need. I think that's getting lost, with a lot of businesses right now, just in general.
Yeah, becoming more automated is not always the best thing.
Right.
We use the highest levels of technology we can, but we can't take the person out.
Mm-hmm.
And you are still dealing with that person and their life and their financial whatever. And so that means the chapters of life for them, right? They just use yourself as an example. You bought a house, or bought a place to live, and then moved on to putting a person through college and a kid through college, and how are you going to be able to do that? And then, their first job, their first whatever. And all that happens right in front of the loan officer.
Right.
Because you have different needs at different points of those chapters. So, that's something I think that, again, we get to go home with, and we have that knowledge that others don't necessarily have. And that's the beauty to the community banking business, Well, really, what about a funny story? Or, I know you got lots of stories, but you got anything specific that you can remember that was kind of either funny or unique or different?
I can't really. There are a lot of funny stories, and usually they involve Suzanne or Bruce.
Yeah.
Nothing really funny that just really sticks out, other than I remember one time there was a snake that got on the back door handle of
We've heard that story already. I can't remember which person I think it was Michelle.
Yeah. And I am just completely, I'm so scared of snakes. It's bad. So I didn't even go back there, because just hearing the word that there is a snake in the building, it was something else. But yeah, that was kind of a unique thing that happened. But there's a lot of funny stories, I guess. I just have to sit and think. But we're always having a good time.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
right?
Always laughing.
We're not here to just be too serious about life anyway, right?
Yeah.
Well, what is it that you're really enjoying about life right now? Is there something that you're a hobby?
Yes, I love to read. I'm very passionate about reading. Mm-hmm. I love studying scripture, Bible studies. That's one of the main things I'm usually involved in as far as reading. And I do like a good historical romance too. But just recently we remodeled our house, and we made kind of at the end of the dining room, there was some space. We had like a huge great room. And so there was some space. We had the guys make us a utility closet for half of it. The other half is my book nook. And so I show everybody pictures of my book nook, because I just love it. Shelves all around. It's just my little corner, and I've got one of those long chairs in there, good lighting. And so when I come in from work, everybody knows Mom wants to get in her book nook. That's my place. That's where I want to end up by the time the night's over with, in my book nook. So that's my place, my coffee, reading a good book.
We just recently, I'd say within the last couple of years, did what was the dining room in the house. My house is 60, 70 years old. So, the dining rooms weren't as big as they are now. And we converted that into a study library thing, and it's small. It's 10 by 10 or less. It's really a small room. And I think the quaintness of that, the book nook sounds even better. You could really escape, like a cocoon kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's got my things, like little mementos from trips I've taken, or it's very personalized, from the pictures that's in there, everything. So
it's Tanya's book nook.
It is. And so I get kind of upset if I see somebody else's water cup sitting in there or whatever. I'm thinking somebody's been in my nook. Who's been in there?
You're our personal space.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And to take it out of a utility closet is pretty neat, too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Tanya. I know your time's valuable, and appreciate you taking the time to be here and introduce yourself a little bit to people. And thanks again for joining us on the HomeTown podcast, and look forward to seeing you next time.